After the whistle starts in Penn's Valley, where this happened. Jackson Roaming sits pretty in the pocket and dots up Deneen Kerstetter for a 76-yard bomb before halftime for the Rams as Penn's Valley went up 34-0 against Conemaugh Valley. But would it be a big enough lead for the Rams to hold on to? I'm Alexis Yoder. We'll have more on that game and others, plus others around District 6.
And I'm Justin Chevalella. We'll also tell you how Penn State looks to say goodbye to its post-bye week troubles. Last time State College and Carlisle faced off, it ended in a last-second victory for the Thundering Herd. Now let's head down to downtown State College to see if the Little Lions can avenge that loss. We picked things up in the second quarter on Carlisle's own 30-yard line. There are the fans getting hyped before the game. It's quarterback Lucas Schwartz launching a 70-yard pass to Carson Smith, who takes it to the house to give the Thundering Herd a 7-0 lead. Later in the second quarter, with the Little Lions driving, quarterback Owen Yurka keeps it on the ground for a 10-yard score, making it a 10-7 Carlisle lead with 1:51 left in the half. But there's halftime. State College's first half was not done yet. J.W. Scott forces a strip sack right before the half, setting up Michael Dincher to scoop and score, giving the Little Lions their first lead of the game with 41 seconds left in the half. The offense kept clicking in the second half. Quarterback Finn Furmanek airs it out from the 34-yard line to Ty Salazar for a 66-yard score to give the Little Lions a 21-13 lead in the third. The Little Lions cruise from there and take this one with a final score of 49-20. State College will head to Harrisburg next week, and Carlisle will be on the road for the second straight week to face Cumberland Valley. Our Game of the Week reporter Alex Rocco was there. Alex, what do you see in this game?
Well, Justin, you saw the play. You saw what happened. It was a big play by a big man right before the halftime that turned the tide.
Michael Dincher came into tonight's game against Carlisle looking to make an impact, and that's exactly what he did. Playing in the trenches, Dincher isn't expected to score, but he found himself with a glorious chance to make a big-time play. His scoop and score provided State College with a much-needed momentum boost, and it never looked back.
I was like, if I score a touchdown, you have to pay for my breakfast at Waffle Shop on Sunday. So, I mean, I didn't expect it, but it's kind of crazy how it happened like that.
While Dincher is undecided about his breakfast order at Waffle House, Coach Matt Lentell was extremely proud of his newfound playmaker.
I'm so grateful for that opportunity for Michael. He couldn't come to a person who's worked any harder than he has. That kid gives everything all summer long, all off season. He's an offensive lineman, plays some D-line, and was in there for that snap. So what a special opportunity for him to get his hands on the ball, make somebody miss out in space, and get the ball in the end zone. So,
while the Little Lion defense shined in the first half, it was freshman running back Deontay Sheffy who kept up his hot start to his high school career, and the offense took off from there.
Sheffy found the end zone for a 12th time tonight, continuing the beatdown on the Thundering Herd. Sheffy credited his early success to his chemistry with his teammates and coaches.
I mean, just stay good at practice and stay humble for our team.
With last year's crushing defeat to Carlisle in mind, the Little Lions made sure to come out with a roaring performance on homecoming night.
To Bellwood Antis we go as Mount Union visited looking to spoil their homecoming game. Nick Koss kicked things off in the first quarter, powering a 7-yard rush to grab a 6-0 lead. As you can see, the team's running out onto the field, and here comes that rush, pouncing in for the score. And Bellwood Antis takes the lead. Matched Koss and raised him one, taking a toss 10 yards to the promised land to notch a 7-6 lead. We take a quick pause from the action to congratulate Lexi Love-Rick on winning homecoming queen of Bellwood Antis. First drive into the second half, Koss returned for more, bouncing it outside the tackles for 4 yards as his second score on the night to make it an 18-7 Bellwood Antis lead. Later in the third, quarterback Bryce Danish found Josh Ryan out of the backfield for a 15-yard haul to the end zone, cutting the deficit to 3, Following his own interception, though, Atherton took a pitch 45 yards to the house to take a 22-18 lead. In the third, however, Mount Union couldn't hold on to this lead as the Blue Devils scored late to flex a 25-22 win over the visitors. Bellwood Antis improves to 5-2 and heads to Moshannon Valley to take on the Black Knights next Friday, while 4-3 Mount Union plays host to West Branch. Now let's take a look at some other scores from around District 6. We'll start with 2 double-digit victories as Northern Bedford topped Claysburg-Kimmel 44-21 to stay undefeated on the season, while Milton Hershey defeated Mifflin County 42-27.
Huntington defended their home field, winning big over Bellefonte 36-12. And Northern Cambria also defended their home field, winning in tighter fashion 35-26 over West Shamokin.
Penn Manor kept its perfect season alive with a blowout 49-21 lead over Portage. Richland also kept its loss column clean as they edged Bedford 25-23.
Tyrone edged out Clearfield on the road 21-14, and Cambria Heights took care of business against Homer Center at home 31-12. Phillipsburg Osceola travels to 3-3 Bald Eagle, looking for their second win of the season as Bald Eagle comes off their upset win over previously undefeated Tyrone. There's quarterback Carson Nagel warming up for Bald Eagle. You will see more about Carson later on in this show. We pick things up in the first quarter with Bald Eagle up 14-0. Phillipsburg Osceola ball, and Ben Gutsky is picked off by Mikey Schneider. That turnover would result in another Bald Eagle touchdown to make it 21-0. And look at this, a bad snap, trying to make something of it, but unable to, as now Phillipsburg Osceola will take this ball and they are going to go deep on the very next play. It's Carson Nagel throwing a dime to Cameron Watkins, 28-0 Bald Eagle. There's the scoreboard, 42-0 in the third quarter. That's where we're gonna pick you up. Phillipsburg looking to make something happen, and on the reverse, look at that, a first down and a little bit more, but on that next play with them driving, it's gonna be Gutsky again, picked off this time by Nick Weiler. That third quarter would end 42-0 before Bald Eagle would go on to win 42-13 in dominating fashion. The Bald Eagles soar high in this one, winning 42-13. They'll stay home to face Tyrone next week. The Mountaineers, now 1-6 on the season, will head to North Star to take on the Cougars. Bald Eagle continues to roll on the field. Off the field, some say family comes first, but for head coach and quarterback, it's one and the same. Logan Barandis has more.
Bald Eagle football is off to a 3-3 start, led by sophomore quarterback Carson Nagel. And the head coach drawing up the plays just so happens to be his father, Jesse Nagel.
While at home it may be father and son, out here on the football field, it's head coach and quarterback. One of the more important duos out in a football game, even more important than a quarterback and his receiver.
Nagel has been the Eagles starter since freshman year. His play on the field caught the eyes of other coaches.
I had reservations about it because being my son, I knew he was going to take heat no matter what, how good he did. I mean, I threw for 2,000 yards last year, and people were still questioning it. As a freshman, stayed high. Matt Lintel and I are good friends. He said, Jesse, you got to play him. You got to start him. So we went and we allowed him to compete.
Nagel started playing football in 7th grade, but it wasn't always his main sport.
When I was younger, it was always baseball. I didn't play football until, 7th grade. So, I've always loved football, but baseball was really my true go-to when I was younger, but now it's football.
The relationship between coach and quarterback doesn't just stay on the football field. The living room often turns into the film room.
Well, if I have a bad practice, we put the film on the TV and we watch it. And, every game we put film on the TV. Just it depends on if the day's good or not.
But no matter the performance, even an intense game against Clearfield, being a head coach comes second to being Carson's father.
He didn't play that well, and I kind of took it out on him a little bit too hard, and then I realized I got to be dad too.
Penns Valley hosted Conemaugh Valley, and the home fans were decked out in pink to promote breast cancer awareness. As you could see the signs draping the field. After scoring a short rush touchdown on the opening drive, Ty Watson punched it in again, this time from 25 yards out with 7:50 left in the first. The Rams go up by 13 due to a missed PAT. With 1:21 left in the first quarter, Conemaugh Valley threatened but fumbled on the goal line. Penns Valley's Hunter Lions recovered the fumble to set the shutout frame. After being stacked up against their own end zone to start the second quarter, Watson burst through a hole for 66 yards to set up another long drive. With 10:51 left in the second, the Rams built a 20-point lead thanks to a Jackson Romig touchdown. And just before the end of the half, you've seen this play before, it's our play of the week. Romig dots up Deneen Kerstetter for the 76-yard strike to put the Rams up 34-0 heading into the locker room. You could see Romig taking it very deep into the field and getting in for the score. Penns Valley improves to 5-2 on the season and hosts on 6-1 Tyrone Golden Eagles. Conemaugh Valley drops to 1-5 and goes to Kerwinsville next week. Coming up, it's homecoming for the Little Lions. We'll have a look at their celebration.
But first, let's take a look at some scores from around PIAA. Just to note for the viewers at home, the Downington West and Coatesville game got canceled due to threats of violence, according to CBS Philadelphia. We'll see you soon.
Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle, brought to you by Com Radio, Center County Report, and Penn State's Chapter of Awesome.
Penn State currently sits at 5-0 on the season and number 10 in the nation. This week's preparation looked normal for the team, but this weekend brings on something different. Our Logan Barandis has more.
Thanks, Justin. And while there's no Penn State football game this weekend, the Nittany Lions are still working during their bye week. For the second straight season, the Penn State Nittany Lions have gotten off to a 5-0 start heading into the bye week. The most recent game came in the team's conference home opener with the 17-7 win over Northwestern. A main difference from last year is seeing the ground game catch up to the passing attack, which according to James Franklin has created a more balanced offense under second-year offensive coordinator Mike Yursich.
I do think obviously this year our identity revolves around being more balanced and having the ability to run or pass. So I think that's probably a big adjustment from last year and maybe even previous years.
Next week, Franklin and the Nittany Lions will look to take that balanced attack on the road to take on the Michigan Wolverines. While facing the fourth-ranked Wolverines, the tough task, the biggest test for the Blue and White, has been playing after the bye week. Franklin hopes to keep this team fresh headed into next week in Ann Arbor.
You know, we're able during this bye week to, rather than staff meet at 7, staff meet at 8 allowed, because part of the bye week is also, you know, making sure everybody's fresh, not only the players but the coaches as well. But then also that should show up in next week as well, because you should be ahead.
Next week's game at Michigan is set to kick off at noon. You can listen to the game live on Penn State's Com Radio.
Here's a look at something a bit different from the previous games we showed you. It was homecoming week for State College. After a parade through downtown on Thursday night, it was Lila Matthias taking home the crown as the homecoming queen at halftime at Memorial Field. Matthias said the crown could have gone to anyone within the homecoming court, but she was thankful to be recognized on the chilly evening.
Very excited. Didn't really expect it. I really loved everybody on the court, so I thought they all had a good chance at winning. Being the class president, I think that, I don't know, I got the word out there a little bit easier than everybody else, but it's a really good moment to know that they support me in this too.
Justin, State College, Penn Manor, and Richland all head into Week 8 undefeated. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this strong play going. That will do it for Week 7. I'm Alexis Yoder.
And I'm Justin Chevalella. Tune in next week for more District 6 football right here on
After the Whistle.